What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the CFL podcast. I'm your host, Kobe Orr, and we have the latest news in HBCU recruiting, this time for Jackson State. Jerome Colbert III, who is the latest commitment for the 2022 class. It seems a little late, but he's committed to Jackson State. He's done it maybe 30 minutes ago, since you're watching this video, or since I'm making this video, either way. So we're gonna get into his background. You're gonna watch his tape, and I'm gonna tell you what I think about him, because honestly, I do think he is a gem kind of player. And he's a player who's gonna be redshirted, but when he steps on the field, I think he can contribute as a redshirt freshman. But we'll wait and see. So Jerome Colbert III is his name, right? He is of the class of 2022. He is a 6'1", weight unclear, because he does not have a 24/7 Sports composite page. I looked, I do not see him, so I don't think he has that page, but he is 6'1", and he plays cornerback and receiver. As a matter of fact, he is the only prospect who I've ever seen refer to himself as a dual threat at wide receiver and DB. But it fits him because he does both very well. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But he is from Athlon High School in Columbia, Maryland. That's where he's from. I butcher names, so excuse that. Listen, as for the measurables, he runs a 4.5. He runs a 4.5, but his game speed, it seems to be different, right? I think the acceleration is a little bit more better than his speed, which why he looks so much faster than what a 4.5 time would really show him to be. Even though 4.5 ain't slow, but he looks faster in the game, in his game speed. Now, you're looking at a true dual threat with this kid, which is why I love that he calls himself that. He's a true dual threat. See, when I look at him play, automatically, it only took me a few plays for him to remind me of Rajon Wright, who plays for Oregon State, the cornerback, and Sauce Gardner. I think he's a mixture of both, because the build is there. It's it's kind of similar. He is, when you look at his frame, he is a skinnier kid who can stand to put more weight on, but I don't think he's ever gonna be that bulky kind of build. I just think that's who he is. That's what his body type is. So he can put on more weight. That's what the redshirt season will be for. But you're gonna have to expect that build from him. But yeah, man, I think he reminds me of Rajon and Sauce Gardner. I think he plays with so much swagger and confidence that even when he runs, it just looks smooth. His gameplay seems smooth, right? So listen, does a really good job of chase down tackling. That's one thing I do notice about him. Like, he can really stop the big play in a minute. He can chase you down. You're not gonna outrun him, right? He squares himself up perfectly. He gets low. He breaks down, and he does a really good job of form tackling. That's one thing that probably isn't talked about him enough. Whoever taught him how to tackle in school has done their due diligence. A lot of times you see DBs in college who just don't like to tackle or don't do it well. They just dive at legs. Not this kid. He knows how to tackle. So on top of that, right, he always looks to make the big play. He always looks to make the big play. When you put the ball in his hands, whether it's on offense or defense, he has that ball in his hands, man, he's looking to score every single time. And I like that about him, right? Great awareness. On top of that, his recognition on screenplays, second to none. He blows those up really quickly. That's what you love to see. He always seems to be where the ball is. On top of that, he has really good ball concentration skills. I do think so. He's not going to always come down with it. He can't always make the big contested catches I'm talking about when he's on defense. But one thing is for sure is that he is going to fight with that receiver until that ball is on the ground and not end up being caught or in the receiver's hands. He is going to fight for his life to defend that pass, and he does it very well. And I think what helps him with that is that long range that he has, right? You can tell he's a long kid. His arms are long, his legs are long, which allows him to disrupt a catch radius of any receiver that he goes against. Right now, the quarterback has less margin for error when he's throwing against Jerome on any side of the ball. And it just really helps with his game. Now, you guys can let me know what you think about the signing down below in the comments. I think he is a kid who, although it's pretty much clear he won't start his freshman year, might not see the field his freshman year. I think redshirt freshman, you find out where you want to put him at, whether that's cornerback or receiver, and you let him go to work, because I do think he is a dominant in the rough kind of player. Not every player needs stars. I think he is a kid who was overlooked, right? Especially looking at his offers. I do think he is a kid who was overlooked, and I think he could be something special for this team. And we'll wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see on that. But that's it. That's all I have for y'all regarding him. 5:30 today, at 5:30 today, Eastern, right? Eastern time. The Shine On Me Act series is going to Orangeburg, South Carolina, where we will be interviewing the other half of the Twin Towers that South Carolina State does have in Rakeem White. That's going to be Shaq Davis at 6'5", Rakeem White at 6'4", right? It's going to be huge. So we're going to get Rakeem White on here, and we also going to get the route technician who's going to be in between both of those guys, Mr. Justin Smith-Brown, right, who is an elite, phenomenal route runner, who is a redshirt freshman, redshirted last year. You're going to see him on the field this year for South Carolina State. You do not want to miss this, right? Because when you see South Carolina State play and you see these guys, don't say, I don't know where they came from, because, you know, CFL tried to put you on to them. So it's better that you come on here now and try to get a glimpse of who these guys are. But with that being said, man, you're watching the CFL podcast. I go by the name of Kobe. I'm out.